Ted DiBiase was a master of playing the villain in the ring, but his real-life actions sometimes blurred the lines between fiction and reality.
Look, I don't care about your regular customers. I don't care if you have to kick somebody out of their seat. I want a table now.
From shocking accusations to eyebrow-raising incidents, this guy's life was full of drama. Here are the unbelievable controversies that surrounded this wrestling legend. Theodore Marvin DiBiase Sr., or, as most folks know him, Ted DiBiase, was born on January 18, 1954. He's a retired pro wrestler from the U.S., who's also done his fair share of managing and commentating. Back in the day, Ted was a major player in wrestling, grabbing 30 titles across various promotions. He's perhaps most famous for his time in the World Wrestling Federation, where he wasn't just a champion, but one of the most memorable villains ever. He had some pretty cool moments in his career. He was the first WWF North American Heavyweight Champion and teamed up with Erwin R. Shyster to win the Tag Team Championship 3 times. He also won a WWE 24/7 Championship and the King of the Ring tournament in 1988. And who could forget when he created the $1 Million Championship? That was classic Ted. Ted didn't just compete. He headlined some of the biggest wrestling events like WrestleMania 4 and the very first SummerSlam. He's been recognized for his contributions to wrestling with inductions into several halls of fame, including a special nod as a headline inductee at the WWE Hall of Fame in 2010. But this legend was never free from controversies. He was always lathered in some drama, fraud, or hot mess. Want to know exactly what happened with this hunk? Let's get into it. But before that, please make sure to subscribe to our channel for more such wrestling updates. Trust me, I won't disappoint you. Let's start with a simpler one. Back in 1988, Ted DiBiase Sr. really shook things up in the wrestling world with a crazy storyline. He supposedly bought the World Heavyweight Championship from Andre the Giant. This was right after Andre won a controversial match against Hulk Hogan with the help of a shady referee. This was all part of the show, just a storyline, but it really got the fans talking. It blurred the lines a bit too much between what was real and what was scripted, sparking a lot of debates. It didn't really tarnish Ted's real-life image, but it sure got people chatting about his on-screen antics. And speaking of his wrestling persona, DiBiase played the part of an arrogant, filthy rich villain who loved showing off his wealth and looking down on others. It was all an act for the ring, but you can imagine how some folks might not have been too thrilled with that kind of character. This was just the beginning. His next controversy will make you believe that not all heroes are perfect. In February 2020, some surprising news broke involving Ted DiBiase. His ministry managed to scoop up over $2.1 million in welfare funds from Mississippi. This all came about after his son, Brett, landed a job as the deputy administrator at the state's Department of Human Services. But things took a turn when Brett admitted to making up some paperwork, landing him in the middle of the largest embezzlement scandal in Mississippi's history. By October 2021, the courts were on Ted DiBiase Sr.'s doorstep, demanding he return $722,299 that had mistakenly gone to his Heart of David Ministries, and the saga didn't stop there. In May 2022, the state's Department of Human Services was on a mission to reclaim over $20 million that had been misspent. They ended up suing the DiBiases, including retired NFL star Brett Favre and a few others, claiming they squandered funds meant for needy families. Then in April 2022, more details surfaced. DiBiase himself snagged a $250,000 check from a welfare-funded organization for his services as a motivational speaker. He even shared this bit of news with his sons in an email, likely not realizing the implications. DiBiase felt his fame put a target on his back, saying that if he wasn't a celebrity, nobody would be probing into his affairs. Fast forward to February 2024, and the drama continues with Ted's former agent speaking out. In an exclusive interview, he defended Ted, portraying him as a man deeply committed to his faith and family, not someone you'd expect to be mixed up in financial mischief. He was adamant that the Ted he knows just wouldn't engage in such activities, highlighting his honest disbelief in the accusations. Sure, drama is part of a wrestler's life, but that shouldn't discredit him of the amazing titles he's won, or the narratives he has knit. I have not forgotten how great Ted was in the ring, And if you are as big of a fan as I am, then keep watching his legendary careers run down. Ted DiBiase's story starts in Omaha, Nebraska. Born Theodore Marvin Willis, he was the son of wrestler Helen Nevins and entertainer Ted Wills. At just 4 years old, Ted's life took a dramatic turn when his mom married another wrestler, Iron Mike DiBiase, who then adopted Ted. But things took a tough turn when Ted was only 15. Tragically, Iron Mike passed away from a heart attack right in the middle of a match. It was a huge blow to the family that sent his mom into a spiral of depression and alcoholism. That was the worst time for him. So, what's a kid to do? Well, Ted moved to Arizona to live with his grandparents. He found an escape in sports during his high school and college days, shining as a football star and landing a scholarship. But then another twist came. Ted injured his knee, ending his football dreams. Instead of giving up, though, he pivoted to something familiar: wrestling. Starting off under the wings of wrestling legends Dory Funk Jr. and Terry Funk, Ted didn't have the smoothest start. He actually lost his first official match. But hey, everyone has to start somewhere, right? Ted kept at it, slowly making his name in the Mid-South territory and even grabbing the Missouri State Champion title along the way. By 1979, Ted had hit the big time with the Worldwide Wrestling Federation, which soon morphed into the WWF. He made a splash from the get-go, snatching the WWF North American Heavyweight Championship. His wrestling style, over the top and totally unforgettable. He even formed a notorious group called the Rat Pack with Jim Duggan and pulled off sneaky moves like using a loaded black glove to knock out opponents when the ref wasn't looking. Even after stepping out of the ring, Ted didn't fade away. He switched gears to managing and commentating, guiding new talents, and even running the $1 Million Corporation. He left such a mark that he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2010. So all I can say is that starting off in a wrestling family, Ted had to deal with a lot of tough breaks early on. Despite the challenges, he managed to turn things around and become one of wrestling's most unforgettable characters. Imagine this guy strutting into the ring, flaunting his wealth, and pulling off some shady stunts, all in the name of entertainment. Fans just loved to hate him. But Ted was more than just a flashy villain. He was a real force in the ring, snatching up titles and really showing what he was made of. Even after hanging up his boots, he didn't just fade into the background. He switched to managing and commentating, still leaving his mark on the wrestling world. Sure, there were some hiccups along the way, especially with some headline-making controversies later in life. Yet when you chat about wrestling legends, Ted DiBiase's name always comes up. His journey is a mix of highs and lows, all wrapped up in one larger-than-life persona. If you're into these kinds of wild real-life stories from the wrestling world, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We've got all the insider info, deep dives, and personal stories to keep you hooked. Hit that subscribe button, and let's keep the conversation going. Thanks for tuning in.